And now back to Bobby Likis Car Clinic and your host, Bobby Likis.
Hey folks, welcome back to this segment of Bobby Likis Car Clinic. Thanks for tuning in today. I wish you a happy Easter coming up. Let's go to Joseph and take a call from Joseph in Florida, from Pennsylvania to Florida. Joseph, welcome back to Bobby Likis Car Clinic.
Hey, good morning. How are you?
I'm great. How about yourself?
All right. I tried to call you last week right after I got done turning the key on that car, that 1992 Aerostar van I was told you about, and the program was already over, so I thought, well, I'll call you this weekend. As it turned out, that's in fact what it was, but I'll be honest with you, I've been working on cars for, I don't know,
wait,
40 years.
But Joseph, give us a refresher so that
I'm sorry. So this is a 1992 Aerostar van that belonged to an ex-mother-in-law. She's not actually my current mother-in-law, and she's gotten taken advantage of many times in town. So I took upon myself to work on the vehicle for her. I found a number of things wrong. But this was an occasion where you had two actual problems, and until you fixed one, you weren't going to repair the other. The first was the fuel pump was not keeping pressure. It would only get about 10 pounds of pressure, which was telling me it was just running weak or a bad connection. It was just the pump. It was worn out at 120,000 miles. So we replaced the pump, got the fuel pressure where it should be, but then the computer was telling the injectors, one of them, to stay on. Everybody and his brother said, oh, it's, a stuck injector. Oh, it's, this. Oh, it's that. Check your spark. I troubleshot that thing into the ground, and everything was good. And I even followed a troubleshooting tree to make sure that I wasn't missing something, including a bad wire somewhere.
Right.
As it turned out, it was, in fact, the computer, the ECU, and even in the troubleshooting tree, it says, rarely will this go out. First check all these other areas. And I'm like, this is OBD1, and these things do go out. So I went ahead and pulled it out because there was nothing else to troubleshoot. So as, in fact, I learned, after I did get it, I called you and said, hey, because I heard your program about your technician putting a computer or something in and then being a little leery turning the key. And I had the same feeling. I was hesitant to not turn the key because I thought, if this doesn't fix it, I'm done. I don't know what else to do. But lo and behold, I barely touched the key, and it fired right up without a hesitation. It was just absolutely amazing how fast it ran. And because I changed everything along the way, plugs, cap, rotor, you name it, it runs like a dream. But in the process, and believe this or not, even though one of those injectors would not shut off because the computer told it to stay on, there was literally 5 gallons of mixed fuel and gasoline in the whole engine. It came out of the top of where the snorkel attaches to the intake. And then I learned after I started it that it actually also had seep down into the muffler. All that's been rectified, and the car runs like a dream. But it just goes to show you that if you have the time and patience, troubleshooting does eventually bring you where you need to be instead of just throwing parts at a car, because I don't believe in just changing parts. I like to know what's actually wrong.
Well, and Joseph, you're right on the money. And now, folks, our conversation with Joseph's question to me was, can I trust a pre-loaded computer that doesn't have to be initiated and or loaded in my vehicle? And the answer, given your vehicle was a 92 model Ford van, the answer was yes. But I'm absolutely elated that you called me back and that did correct your problem. And as I said last week, we did have recently a 3.5, I think it was, Johnny did reprogram a vehicle. It had 4 different upgrades, and he was just amazed at the performance enhancements. Not only did it correct the problem that the customer brought it into our shop for, it enhanced the performance of the vehicle if it had never been in the shop. So, of course, that was a later model vehicle, and it was one that had the OBD2. But I'm just really glad that you called back, Joseph, and I'm really glad you didn't blow the pan off that vehicle when it did run, because that's so much gasoline. You did something right there. I guess you drained it and changed the oil and did all that, right?
Oh, yeah, that was all. I flushed it all out and everything. But to your point about preloaded, because, you have to flash all the new computers like you were saying. That's why I asked the question first at the parts place. I said, look, am I going to have to load this or flash this computer when I get it? And only because I gave them the old computer first, they matched it up wherever they were getting them from.
Right.
And they were able to determine from whatever numbers were on that computer how it needed to be programmed for that specific vehicle.
Yes.
And so that's what kept it, or allowed it to be the plug and play. But I didn't know if I should rely on that, and that's why I asked you guys.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you did, and I'm glad you did call back, and I thank you so much for that upgrade. Again, folks, we're talking about a 92 Ford van, a 92 model, which is anything before 96 has the OBD1, which is the less sophisticated computer that you can buy at a local parts house that's preloaded. It's a plug-and-play, provided you did as Joseph did and give them the number of your existing unit. And that's the last resort that you want to get. Joseph, thanks again so much. I really appreciate it. And Happy Easter to you, sir.
Happy Easter. Thank you.
You're welcome. Well, that's a great send-off. What a great opportunity.